All right, welcome back, baseball fans, especially fans of the dead ball era and the 19th century. So we have 2 games left to go. September 21st and September 22nd in 1900, which the season is normalized to. This is our Ned McGreevy, enough said, league named after Ned McGreevy, the founder, head of the Royal Rooters in Boston. Originally rooters for what we know as the Boston Braves, but switched their allegiance to the Boston Americans, or Boston Pilgrims, some say, but the Boston Americans have become the Boston Red Sox, the Royal Rooters. Ned McGreevy, the owner of the Third Base Saloon. So on your way home from Huntington Avenue grounds, that was your last stop before home. And Ned McGreevy, prudent Irishman that he was, settled all. He was the final arbiter, as we learned from the Ken Burns baseball documentary. He was the final judge of all arguments. And when Ned thundered out, "Enough said," that was it. Debate over. So there's Robbie Wartburg in the house. So yes, so we have hopefully a good slate of baseball tonight. Since I have some time this evening. So we have some teams in the race. Manchester, of course, already clinching it, but made the decision some time ago when the season itself was over that we would do a World Series between the first and second place team. So the season is technically over mathematically. Manchester clinched days ago, and there's no way they're going to miss. There's no way they're going to be the home team, or not going to be the home team. But now we have a little bit of a traffic jam. So Philadelphia and Cleveland tied for second. Providence and Bellingham tied for third, and Butler is still in the race. So Providence losing last night, Cleveland losing last night, but Cleveland tenaciously hanging on. So tonight we will see Cleveland again in Philadelphia, Providence at Manchester, and we're going to go ahead and autoplay Butler at Liverpool. And we'll see if Liverpool can kind of get something done here. And then other games, of course, that we will not get to. Carolina and Arsenal is really the other one that we're not going to do. Those two teams have been long out of the race. And there's a big clue, and there's Ken Castro saying hello, fellow cranks. So big night. Hopefully with 2 games left, we can kind of sort this traffic jam out. And if not, we'll create. We'll have to do little 1-game playoffs, whatever, and see when we can finally get this sorted. Other news. So Steve Tate once again has passed along permission to go ahead and start showing off the Negro League file that he's been doing. So that will be coming up very, very shortly. What else? We have our 19th Century and Dead Ball tournament, which is going to be coming up following our little World Series. And that one we took a different approach. We took a number of teams, and they're all going to be meeting in a tournament, so it's not going to be a season. But then my hopes are that perhaps later down the line this year, and I know Ken Castro will be interested, but we'll see about everyone else, that we'll revisit and have a McGreevy maybe part 2, where we'll release all those players from those teams into a draft pool and redraft for an abbreviated season, or maybe just another tournament with them. Since with this one, the way we conducted the draft, we had to include, I think, about 7 players from the 1920s. So this one will be bereft of them. You will also see some new players and some favorites that have been in here you will not see. So, for instance, Walter Johnson will not be in that tournament coming up. But we will see Christy Mathewson. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. See some other players, some very, very good players that were not drafted actually in this Ned McGreevy league. But all that being said, I predicted a lot of fun. I'm going to be returning and doing some stuff with Out of the Park Baseball, just some one-offs. I've been doing offline a sort of replay of a great mod called Cooperstown, which is an all-time greats franchise, but also includes a Negro League team and a team of 19th century players. And the 19th century players are called the Cooperstown Pioneers. They are tough. Tough. So looking forward to jumping back into Out of the Park Baseball. And then we also have the 1909 World Series to finish up. So there we go. I don't know how long you guys can hang in tonight, but I do not have to be at work until 2:30 tomorrow afternoon. That being said, there will be no baseball tomorrow, nor will there be baseball Wednesday, but there will be on Thursday. So I wanted to start earlier tonight, but I know that most people don't. They're used to me starting at 11:30 or something like that. And I wanted to actually finish this all tonight, except for the World Series. But I don't think we're going to get 4 games in. Most folks aren't lasting that long. So we'll just do a couple games tonight, and then we'll do the other games Thursday night. And then Friday, what we'll do is we'll simulate some days of rest or what have you, and then we'll have game 1 of the World Series between Manchester and whoever has second place, unless we have to do any sort of one-game playoffs or what have you. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and autoplay 2 games, and one is really meaningful, so we'll do that one second. So first up is going to be Carolina at Arsenal. Again, since these 2 teams really can't play any spoiler baseball against each other because they're out of the race, we'll go ahead and do that one first. And that will be the last time that we'll see these teams. This one, it's one. In fact, I'll probably move a step ahead and autoplay, finish out the seasons that don't matter. But here we go. But Carolina and Arsenal, a lot of fun. Carolina wins now 5-3. Joe McGinnity gets the win, 15-13. Lefty Grove takes the loss, goes to 10-8. Now Butler and Liverpool. This one does have some meaning for Butler. So if Liverpool can pull off a win, Butler's pretty much all but out of it. If Butler can beat Liverpool, then still an outside chance. Butler right now 10 games behind Manchester, but the important thing, only 2 games behind Cleveland. But Butler needs to win its next 2, but I really don't see Butler making it at this point. So we'll go ahead and autoplay this one. And Butler's season is pretty much done. Liverpool defeats Butler 2-0. John Clarkson gets the win. Goes to 19-13. Pud Galvin gets the loss, and he falls to 24-18. John Clarkson pitched a complete game and struck out 9. And when I see zeros in the score, I just want to make sure that we didn't miss a no-hitter. This was a one-hitter by John Clarkson. So Liverpool at 73-76. Butler, a game above 500, 75-74. A respectable finish for Butler in this very, very tough league. St. Louis and Bellingham. So Bellingham is tied with Providence. So the St. Louis-Bellingham game, we actually have 3 games that are really, really important to play. I don't expect, hey, there's our JL, Robert. You say goodbye and I say hello. That definitely counts. And nice. You say goodbye and I say hello. Love it. Welcome in. RGL Network racing us here for a little bit at one of the ballparks we're going to go to. So D. Scott Howard usually in late, so we may just autoplay, but Bellingham is still kind of in the race. But the 2 big ones are Cleveland, Philadelphia, Providence, Manchester. If Ken Castro feels like managing, we'll just jump into that game. Providence losing to Manchester last night. Providence mounting a 9th-inning rally, as is its wont, but falling a bit short. What killed Providence last night? Errors. Kid Elberfeld should be a felon for the errors that he committed in last night's game, which really led to Providence's loss. Only 1 earned run uh, against Providence last night. So you take away the errors, and when you factor in the errors by Manchester, Providence actually should have won last night's game, but it did not happen. We are hoping here, at the Spalding Guide, that the Providence manager, Ken Castro, did bring unto Kid Elberfeld the proverbial coming to Jesus talk. See if he does better tonight. Big Blue says, Elberfeld muffed the ball. Surely you kid. Yep, Walter Johnson, a 1.08 earned run average. Johnson pitching tough. He is pitching tough. The anomaly in here, however, is Jack Feaster. So, Robert, what I'm using is the baseball history collection from Dave Cook Sports, rather than trying to go through and create a draft league and install 49 seasons, and then trying to figure out by what criteria we're going to choose a player's best season. When you get legends like Walter Johnson, Hannes Wagner, it's hard to pick a best season for them. Why Feaster is up there is because, or not Feaster, he's not the, who is it? Jake Weimer, not Jack Feaster. Jake Weimer with a 2.04 earned run average is because the baseball history collection uses, and Robert, I believe you have Action PC Baseball, so you know this already. But it uses a peak slice of a player's career. What happens that Weimer had a short career, but factored all together, he was able to put up some respectable numbers. It's playing out pretty well. Walter Johnson, unbelievable, and why I'm not too shocked, considering that Walter Johnson pitched in this era and pitched against many of these players, and bearing in mind that we picked, right, everybody drafted great players. Johnson would have 30-game win seasons and have a ridiculously low earned run average without run support from the Washington Senators for whom he pitched. In fact, Johnson wouldn't even see a World Series until 1924, and that was the only time the Washington Senators actually ever won it. So yeah, Johnson shockingly good. However, the strikeout king in this, as expected, is Rube Waddell. So that's where we are. And again, with what-ifs like this, it's really hard to come out with a kind of predictability, because these players are rated and everything in the baseball history collection on their own career, but then Action PC normalizes across eras, and we're basically doing 19th century and dead ball here. But so Robert asking, who do I take as the best dead ball pitcher? Walter Johnson. I don't even have to read the other two names. I will, Cy Young or Christy Mathewson, for the reasons, my friend, that I just mentioned. So we'll take Christy first. Christy Mathewson was, and I'm not taking anything away from Mathewson or Young, and I would rate them in this order, Robert, my own humble opinion: Johnson, Mathewson, then Cy Young. Walter Johnson, again, very rarely got run support, and still won a monstrous amount of games, still posted ridiculously low earned run average, was considered the dominant pitcher of his time, and still considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Christy Mathewson was pitching, and again, nothing against Christy Mathewson. He's a great pitcher, deserves to be in that inaugural class. It's unfortunate that he did not live to see his induction, he and Johnson, part of that inaugural class. But Christy Mathewson pitched, the first three great baseball dynasties, really, the three great powers, if you will, the Pittsburgh Pirates, New York Giants, and Chicago Cubs. And Mathewson had the good fortune to pitch for a great New York Giants organization, and Mathewson got a lot of run support. So Christy was great. For Cy Young, I think that Cy Young is remembered for his 511 victories, and rightly so. And it's kind of funny because Walter Johnson has won the Cy Young Award, by the way, in this league. I think Cy Young is a great pitcher, but if I had to pick one of those three to be my starter for a game in which everything was on the line, like an asteroid was hurtling toward the Earth, it would be Walter Johnson, hands down, 24/7. That's who I would say. I would rank Rube Waddell higher as a pitcher than Cy Young. holder of all-time strikeouts for a long time, and really, as far as lefties, you would see some lefties come along later, such as Lefty Grove, but really, it wasn't until Sandy Koufax, I think, that you really had, as far as a strikeout dominant pitcher, but Lefty Grove in that class, whom I think Cy Young, and I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, may be somewhere in the top 20 pitchers for me, but nowhere near Walter Johnson. My own opinion on that, of course. So, right, and RGL says, well, only 2 pitchers in baseball history have over 300 wins, 3,000 strikeouts, and a career ERA under 3.00, Walter Johnson and Tom Seaver. Seaver is great, too, yes. So, there we go. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, a psychiatrist. Oh, yeah, yes, I'm well, yes, there you go. There's D. Scott Howard. Yeah, how is it even possible, right? All right, so D. Scott Howard is here. If he chooses to manage his team, we can start with St. Louis and Bellingham, because Bellingham is still in the race. Tied with Providence, identical records, and just 1 game behind Cleveland. That's up to hey MV, and thank you kindly for those files. I have to use an earlier version of Baseball for Windows, but thank you for those, but more importantly, thank you for your kind words in the Discord to me, and I hope that you saw my return message. It's very heartfelt. Seriously, you're a good bloke, and I'm glad you're part of the family. Yeah. All right. MV had a game today? I didn't get the memo. So it's up to D. Scott Howard if he feels like managing. If not, we can just auto-play the St. Louis Bellingham game, and then move on to Providence and Manchester. Okay. So D. Scott will play the AI. So if that's the case, we can auto-play it if Ken Castro is ready to manage. If not, we can do St. Louis and Bellingham. We would have 3 games tonight, so we do want to get started pretty quickly. And pray no extra innings. MV on the mic. All right, I have to go check that out then. In fact, I'll be back. I'm going to go listen now. Okay, Ken was ready. So what we're going to do is we'll save St. Louis and Bellingham in case neither Cleveland nor Philadelphia shows up. We may autoplay that one, since we do have a home manager here. So let's do Providence and Manchester, since Ken says he is born ready. Here we go. Big game for Providence. 2 games left to the season. All right, everybody wishing Ken good luck. And this is a big game for Providence. And facing the pennant winner. All right. So you're going to be facing Pete Alexander tonight, another pitcher I will rate above Cy Young. And here we go. 5th versus right again. So Ken, I don't know if you want to make any changes, and you need to pick your pitcher. Let's see who's working on short rest. So your staff is recovering. You only have 3 on short rest: Chesbro, Taylor, and O'Brien. And I don't know if you want to make any lineup changes. Let's go to batters first and see if you want to, I don't know, shuffle a bit. Okay, move Buck Ewing to 6th. Okay. Makes sense. McPhee's not really hitting a lot. Also, guys, check out RGL Network 1988 season replay. Robert, again, feel free anytime to just, put in a chat, whatever, about what's going on in your replay, what's coming up next, how things are shaking out. That's one of the reasons why you got a wrench, man. That's one of the thank yous, is you just get to do your channel, man. Pimp your channel. You're going to move McPhee to 9th. So who are you pitching? This is easy. Okay, hang on, MV. I can only do one at a time. So you're moving McPhee to the 9th spot, but I'm a little confused. Old Haas. Oh, you're gonna bring Radborn. Let's see. All right, you got it. So Radborn will bat 8th. Now the game always has a cow when you do this. Okay, but maybe this time it won't. And Radborn not pitching, but playing right field. What are you going to do with Keeler? Because when you're putting, right, Radborn, we're pitching, right? Is that what we're doing? Let me see. I'm sorry, my fault. Oh, where did it go? Old Haas. Oh, okay, Radborn is pitching. Gotcha. And Keeler is the right fielder. So we're good. Okay. How about that? And Radborn is to bat 8th. So you're moving Elberfeld up. Oh no, that's fine. So McPhee bats 9th. Elberfeld move. And Old Haas Radborn's going to bat 8th. And you're leaving Elberfeld in. Old Haas pitching. Okay, cool. So Robert says that his Mets run the board tonight, so check it out. So guys, it's very, very easy. You can watch this broadcast, Roger and Robert's, switch back and forth if you haven't caught it. Robert is a huge Mets fan. I'm a big Buccos fan, and last I checked in, the Buccos are at least still in the race in 1988. I know that the Cardinals were first place, so I'm hoping my Buccos can catch them. All right, now we're going to look over at Manchester. And let me see. So this is going to be a righty, and I think that's right. You wanted a computer AI, but you want Shock for Easterly. All right, not a problem. So Shock going to get the start tonight instead of Ted Easterly catching. All right. Anything that you want to change as far as your lineup goes? Batting order, I should say. The erstwhile MV. As we get kick off, this is a big one. This won't decide it, but Providence certainly needs to win this game or needs Bellingham to lose its game, what have you. Okay, all good. Let's about to get going here. And Robbie hopes I'm well. I am indeed not unwell, Robert Wartburg. Thank you. All right, so guys, tune in to RGO Network as well. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Thinking about is, flipping around in your telly or 2 different monitors or something. And I always say this all the time. One of the cool things about that I like that Robert does, and not just because I do it, I just like the way he does it. Robert is very, very interactive. With you at his games. It's wonderful to see. As soon as somebody jumps in, Robert is like immediately on a hello, and really taking a real interest in his community. And the other cool thing about it, besides him being a very, very knowledgeable baseball fan, is Robert comes with his own crowd, and there is no other YouTube content creator in our sports gaming community that can make that claim to fame. So. And also, one more thing for my friend Robert, RGL Network. Even though Led Zeppelin is his favorite band, he is cool enough to admit that while Led Zeppelin is his favorite band, the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. So respect there. Usually people will say, "Well, yeah, my band's not only my favorite band, but they're the greatest." But and I love Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin is in my top 5. Great band. It drives me crazy that people call Zeppelin a heavy metal band. Led Zeppelin is Led Zeppelin, right? The greatest bands have their own sound, and they defy categorization, just like Pink Floyd, the Beatles, whatever, right? So, awesome. All right, let's do this, man. Welcome to Ebbets Field for this. I can't overstate the importance of this game between Providence Liberty Tree and the Manchester Red Bolts. And the Manchester Red Bolts already winning the pennant, now waiting to see who they're going to meet in a 3-game World Series. So Old Haas Radbourne, the go-to for Providence in virtually any situation you can imagine, takes the mound for Liberty Tree. 53 starts in the year, and he is 27-24 with an overall ERA of 2.53. This will be his 6th start against Manchester. He's 3-2 with a 2.80 earned run average against them. And one of the greatest of all time also to face him, or to oppose him, I should say. Grover Cleveland, Pete Alexander takes the mound for Manchester. 33 starts in the year, and he is 17-15 with an earned run average of 1.93. He is among our league leaders. This will be his 4th start against Providence, and against Providence he is 2-0 with a 1.55 earned run average. At game time here in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn, it is 77 degrees, wind speed 6 miles per hour out to center field, and we're ready to get this going. As we've seen in our last 6 or 7 games, we've seen very, very aggressive managing by Providence, and I believe Providence in its last 7, 5 wins, 2 losses. And we are ready to go, and indeed the Beatles changed music. Yes, they did. Big Clue says Shock could catch and Shock could throw, but his bat was a big 0. Certainly. Yeah. Shock, not a big hitter. All right, so for anybody not familiar, the rules usually is that the home team manage, but gentlemen in here, in our community, our family, MV has agreed to allow Ken to manage as if he was the home team. So look for some aggressive managing when the manager puts up, either manager puts up an emoji. It's usually we call it the pink proctologist glove. Then I halt play immediately. So Billy Hamilton will lead it off here. Billy Hamilton hitting .294, 8 runs batted in. We're ready to go. Providence games going a little more. They go a little more slowly because Ken is a very, very hands-on manager. So I don't make a move until I see what he says. You know, hit away however he wants to work here. So that's all we're waiting for now at this point. See, we have 6 viewers. I appreciate it. If you like, please leave a like. It does help the channel. Not trying to build it into anything monetized, but just helps get the word out for these little baseball projects that we do that are unique to the community. I think there's not a lot of people doing baseball in these 2 eras, 19th century, dead ball. Okay, hit away. Here we go. Hope you enjoyed tonight's game, everybody. I think it's going to be a good one. Alexander with the 0-1 delivery to Billy Hamilton. And Hamilton, routine fly ball to center, check stall, ranging in and to his left, squeezes it for out number 1. Wee Willie Keeler hitting .284, a home run, 54 runs batted in. Keeler just behind Hannes Wagner for league lead in steals. Yeah, it's not going to happen on this channel. Big Clue saying only 694 subs left to go. Not going to happen. Not only is it at number 1 on this channel, number 2, I've pissed off a few people in the community through the years. And, yeah, number 3, I'm a shite broadcaster. So, but we have fun, and that's what this is really about. We'll let the broadcasting guys like Robert and Al and Al Red Sox fan, Christopher Slovic, those guys are the broadcasters. Dave Little, Mr. Jockett, so, and apparently MV now too. All right, so Keeler at .284, home run, 54 runs batted in, and not sure what Providence wants to do here. So filling in the dead air here, filling in the dead air. Yeah, exactly. The real reason is because Manfred placed my channel on the ineligible list. Oh my God, that is funny. All right, hit away for Keeler. Yeah, fun, Robbie, but I don't claim to be like, I'm not good like those guys in terms of a broadcaster. All right, Alexander with a 1-2 delivery to Keeler, cut on, and this one chopped hard to third. Bobby Wallace, smooth play to first, but this is going to be close, and Wee Willie Keeler beats it out. So despite a strong peg by Bobby Wallace at third, Hall of Fame third baseman, Keeler just ripping out of the box. Wee Willie, again, as we said, 56 steals in a season, one behind Hannes Wagner for the league lead. And there it goes. And Big Clue says nobody broadcast put him to sleep like mine. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Going for the steal. Keeler with an aggressive leadoff first, and here's Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly had a very strong start to the season. In the last third of the season, though, Kelly's kind of tailed off. He's now down to a .235 average, a home run, 42 runs batted in. Alexander checks the runner at first. And there goes Keeler. Schalk's throw down, and Keeler's got it stolen. Now tied with Hannes Wagner for the league lead in stolen bases with 57. Keeler in scoring position, one away here, just underway in Ebbets Field. Kelly back in the box. The count 0-1 on Joe Kelly. As Ken Castro to make a move here, calling for the hit and run with Keeler in scoring position, looking to draw first blood. Pete deals. There goes Keeler, hit and run on. And Alexander with a throw on to Bruthers to retire Kelly. Keeler makes it to third, two away for Little Napoleon, John McGraw. We'll see John McGraw in our next project playing for the 1894 Baltimore Orioles. And they're in the first round, and I believe they're playing against the 1907 Tigers. Did anyone draft Johnny Kling? Yes. Johnny Kling, I forget. He was definitely drafted. But looking through the tournament that we have coming up, Big Clue, I'm surprised at the players that didn't get drafted. There were some amazing. But yeah, Kling is definitely on somebody's squad. So Keeler just 90 feet away. Will Ken Castro do something gutsy here with McGraw with two down, or have him swing away? Big Clue says, hot damn, whoever manages that team should get fired if they don't bat McGraw cleanup or lead off right. Then those 1894 Baltimore Orioles, Cousin Ken saying hit away. Interesting thing is, Ken and I were looking at the rosters for that 1894 Orioles squad. Crazy offense, but their pitching, they've got to score a lot of runs because the pitching is just, it's not good. It's not good at all. All right, Alexander working from the stretch. The 2-0 delivery to McGraw, and Keeler was coming home on that. Tinker has it over to Bruthers, and they get McGraw by a half a step. So side retired, no runs, one hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. Liberty Tree nothing, and the Red Bolts coming to bat. Usual suspects here, with one change in tonight's lineup. Ray Schalk will get the start as opposed to Ted Easterly. Hall of Fame left fielder Jesse Burkett leads it off here, a .302 average, 40 runs batted in. Old Hoss Radbourne finishing his warm-up tosses. Here is the 1-2 delivery. And Burkett sends this one to left field, but Joe Kelly had him played perfectly. One up, one down. Cupid Childs, who made some great plays last night, flashing the leather for Manchester, steps in now. Childs hitting .255 with 42 runs batted in. Ernie did indeed describe things so well. It's one of the charms of baseball for Windows. That immersion factor is amazing. Radbourne brings it to Childs, the 1-2. Base hit up the middle. First base hit for Manchester as Hamilton having a rough time getting to that ball, and Childs is going to get to second. So it's going to be a single and an error on Billy Hamilton and a runner in scoring position. Here we go. Batting third, Dan Bruthers, .314, 7 home runs, 68 runs batted in for him. Cousin Ken Castro. All right, Bruthers in there against Radbourne. The kick and the delivery of the 2-2. Bruthers cuts on this one. Long fly ball to center, and it's out of here. So Dan Bruthers picks up home run number 8, one of the game's early sluggers, and Manchester out to an early 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. So once again, Providence having to play catch-up baseball, and Providence able to do that actually throughout the season. We've seen evidence of that again in our past 7 games. So Chief Wilson now will bat. Wilson batting in the number 4 slot, hitting .257, 5 home runs, 71 runs batted in for Chief Wilson. Here is the pitch from Radbourne. Wilson swinging on the first pitch. What a play by Bid McPhee. Diving stop and on to Prince Howe Chase. That one would make the highlight reels, except that Mr. Edison isn't quite ready to get them out there yet. So 2 away, 2-0 your score for center fielder Chick Stahl. Stahl hitting at a .244 clip, 45 runs batted in, including a home run. Radbourne winds and fires the 0-1. Fastball to Stahl. This one out to center field, and Billy Hamilton makes a great play. So he bobbles it and holds on to it. So side retired, but 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. We've played 1. It's Manchester 2, Providence nothing. Due up for Providence here in the top of the second. Prince Howe Chase, Buck Ewing, and Kid Elberfeld. Let's look at the defense for Manchester, and we will do the same for Providence in the bottom of the inning. So in left field, there is Jesse Burkett. In center, Chick Stahl. In right, Chief Wilson. From first to third, Dan Bruthers. And Dan Bruthers in the baseball history collection, by the way, 21 home runs. So that home run, not a shocker. Cupid Childs. Joe Tinker, Bobby Wallace, Ray Schalk, and of course the great Pete Alexander. Prince Howe Chase, a story of what could have been had he not been so greedy, considered in his day to be a preeminent fielder. Chase more interested in gambling, though. Chase hitting .263, 7 homers, 56 runs batted in. Schalk sets the target for Alexander, the wind, and the 1-2 to Chase. Fastball, and this one solidly stroked up the middle. Base hit. Howe Chase aboard. Prince Howe has stolen 21 bases this year, and probably about $2,100 from hapless bettors. Buck Ewing moving up in the order, batting in the 6th slot today, hitting .241, 9 home runs, 68 runs batted in for Buck Ewing. The hit and run play is on with Chase at first. Alexander with a check of Chase. The 0-1 delivery to Buck Ewing. Here it comes. Fastball in there. On the inside corner, strike 2 is Howe Chase not able to get a jump. 0-2 on Ewing. Aaron Reed there now spelling his Irish properly. He says, hey, what's the crack? Welcome in, Aaron. Hopefully you're having fun with Action PC Baseball. Hit and run still on. Alexander brings it home. The 0-2. There goes Chase. Chopped down the first base line. Bruce will take this one unassisted, and Chase will move to second on the hit and run play. How Chase in scoring position now for Kid Elberfeld. We've already talked about his error-prone day in the previous proceedings. Elberfeld in the season hitting .217, 48 runs batted in, including a home run. Hit away. Alexander checks the speedy Chase at second. The 3-0 to Elberfeld. Fastball missing, and Elberfeld aboard. So the tying run now at first. For Old Hoss Radbourne, hitting .238, 2 home runs, 21 runs batted in. And Radbourne was a pretty damn good hitter and could play the outfield and hit away. All right, so she liked Action PC Baseball, and you've been able to play out games and switch seasons and everything. I'm so glad. All right, hit away. Infield looking bunt from Radbourne. Wallace in at third, Bruthers in at first. Chase on second, Elberfeld at first. Here is Alexander's delivery. The 2-2 to Radbourne. Fastball chopped to second. Childs to Tinker, but they will not turn the double play. Chase will move to third. Runners at the corners and 2 down. Radbourne at first. Chase at third. For Bid McPhee, the light-hitting second baseman, at just 182, a home run, 9 runs batted in for McPhee. McPhee not known as a heavy hitter in this baseball history collection, hitting it at 251 clip. And with 2 down, Haas Radbourne, only 2 steals thus far in the season, and 2 games left to go. So I'm assuming we're hitting away here. Nice crowd here at Flatbush. It's a very transparent crowd. Alexander brings it home, the 1-0 to McPhee, and McPhee chops to second. Childs quickly onto Bruther's side, retired. Providence threatens, but they do not score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the second, and it's 2-0 in favor of Manchester. Let's look at the Providence defense. In left field, Joe Kelly. In center, slide in Billy Hamilton, faster than today's Billy Hamilton. In right field, Willie Keeler. Hit him where they ain't, is what Willie Keeler said. Success for his hitting. And Keeler did it well. At first base, Hal Chase. At second, Bid McPhee. At short, Kid Elberfeld. At third, Little Napoleon, John McGraw. A very, very good player in his own right. And, of course, best known as the longtime manager of the New York Giants, one of the first powers in baseball. Buck Ewing is behind the plate, and old Haas Radbourne on the mound. Bobby Wallace will lead it off here for Manchester, the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Bobby Wallace will be followed by Ray Schalk and Joe Tinker. Hot corner man for Manchester, hitting .231, 17 ribbies for him. Radbourne has the sign from Buck Ewing. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Wallace. Fastball grounded hard to short, but Elberfeld making a nice play on this and a good accurate throw. So 1 up, 1 down on the 6-3 putout, and here is Ray Cracker Schalk. Schalk hitting a 187 with 32 ribbies. Schalk, as we've already discussed in the chat, not known for his bat. Radbourne with the leg kick in the delivery. Schalk gets the bunt down, Ewing pouncing on it like a grasshopper and takes care of it. So 2 up, 2 down for shortstop Joe Tinker. Tinker hitting .235, 46 ribbies, a home run. So 1 home run in this game, a 2-run shot by Dan Bruthers. Radbourne brings the 2-1 delivery now. Curveball. Tinker sends this to center and coming in fast, juggling the ball, and not able to hold on to it is Hamilton, and the ball will go to third as Tinker slides in. 7th error. Hamilton having adventures out there. 2nd error for Providence in the game, and both committed by Slide and Billy Hamilton. If there's some good news for Providence, is there's 2 out. Tinker at third. We saw a steal of home last night, by the way. George Davis for the Philadelphia Quakers with a successful steal of home. Old Pete up there now. Alexander hitting .222, 7 ribbies. Radbourne from the stretch in the 0-1. Alexander swings, grounded to second. McPhee bobbles the ball, but recovers to get Alexander. That was a close one. So nothing across, and we go to the top of the third. It is still 2-0. We're back at the top of the order for Liberty Tree. And Slide and Billy Hamilton, who is 0 for 1. The center fielder fly to deep right center his last time up. Cousin Ken Castro once again dealing with some errors here. As Big Clue says, show her a doubleheader, Aaron, and she'll be impressed. So waiting to see what Cousin Ken wants to do. Hit away. All right. Alexander has walked a batter, has yet to strike out anyone. 3-1 to Hamilton, and Hamilton draws the walk, and the tying run comes to the plate in Willie Keeler. Keeler last time, infield single and a stolen base. Hamilton, 34 steals in the season. Eminence, just an eminent base stealer. Straight steal. Alexander with a check of Hamilton at first. He comes home with it. There goes Hamilton. Shocks throw down. And Hamilton gets the steal. So runner in scoring position now. Hamilton scores, and Providence cuts this 2-0 lead in half. Keeler back in the box. The count 0-1 on Wee Willie. Master of the Baltimore chop. Glove going up again. Hit and run. Alexander peers over his right shoulder at Hamilton. Looks in, gets the sign from Schock. Hamilton now into an aggressive lead. Alexander brings it. There goes Hamilton, the hit and run. This one grounded to short. Joe Tinker with the error. Score that one E6, and Keeler is aboard. And Providence in business. Supreme speed on the base paths with Billy Hamilton at third and Keeler at first. Keeler tied with Wagner, as we said, for steals in the season. We won't be seeing Hannes Wagner anymore in the Ned McGreevy League, but we will see him in our next project as a member of the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll see them in the second round. They get a bye in the first round. And Cousin Ken calling for a hit. And this is kind of surprising. All right. Alexander works from the stretch. 2 on. Kelly swings first pitch. Comebacker to the mound. Alexander has it. There's a 30% chance that Hamilton will be safe if you send him. So send yes or no, Cousin Ken. Wheels turning there. Send yes. Here we go. So Alexander has it, throws home, and sliding Billy Hamilton is safe. So the Providence manager, Ken Castro, playing against the odds, and the first Providence run scores, and they cut this Manchester lead in half. It's 2-1. Keeler at second, Kelly on first for John McGraw. Muggsy, as nobody ever called him to his face, grounded to short back in the first. Run and hit. Keeler at second, Kelly at first, Alexander dealing with some speed on the bases. Joe Kelly has 31 steals. Here's a delivery now, and the runners go. Liner to center, Stahl has it, and getting back to first, they're going to get Keeler. They are going to get Keeler, so Chick Stahl with the absolutely cannon shot to first, and Keeler does not make it back in time. He is out of there. Or not Keeler, I'm sorry, Joe Kelly. So Chase now. Keeler gets back to second. 2 away. Prince Howe 1 for 1, singled up the middle. So again, that was Joe Kelly that was gunned down by Chick Stahl in center. And we see the glove going up again. Stolen base. Oh, no, run and hit. Okay, run and hit it is. All right. A run and hit with 2 down. Alexander with a check of Keeler. Keeler into his lead, the wind, and the delivery. There goes Keeler. This one popped behind the plate. Schock running back, but he's going to run out of room in this ballpark. Count 0-1. We will assume the run and hit is still on in the 0-1 count. Keeler remains at second, so Chase making contact, but not in the correct direction. Here's the delivery. Keeler goes. Fly ball. This one is going to twist foul. Wilson just unable to get to it, just over the railing there in the seats. And run and hit still. The 0-2 pitch, 2 down. Nothing to lose here, I suppose. Here it comes. There goes Keeler, and base hit. Left field. Keeler rounding third. This could tie the game. 44% chance to send Chase to second. And I think the lag is getting us here a little bit. So actually, the run and hit worked, cousin. But want to know if you want to send Chase to second. You got Keeler possibly rounding third. No. Gotcha. And Keeler will tie up the game. So how Chase with the RBI single. And Chase will make it to second on the play. And Providence ties it up here in the top of the third. We are knotted at 2. So a much cleaner game. And indeed, we shall call him the Reverend Castro. Apparently his coming to Jesus talk working so far. Except that Billy Hamilton missed it, but we shall see. All right, hitting away with Buck Ewing. Chase on at second. 2 out, 2 in the top of the third. Alexander brings it home. The 0-1. Ewing swings, chopping ball to third. Bobby Wallace coming in quickly on that. Hard peg on to Dan Bruthers to retire the side, but 2 big runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error. And we go to the bottom of the third, and we are knotted at 2 in a huge game for Providence. Coming up after this will either be Philadelphia and Cleveland or St. Louis and Bellingham, depending. All right, we're back at the top of the order for the Red Bolts, and Hall of Famer Jesse Burkett. Burkett, his last time, fly to left. One of our league leaders in batting average, hitting .302, so that tells you the strength of this league. Only Tris Speaker and Nap Lajoie ahead of Burkett, as far as I remember. I'm sorry, and Dan Bruthers. So we actually have 4. So Burkett, one of the leaders. 2-0 now to Jesse. Fastball, and this one lined, and right to John McGraw. John McGraw playing that one perfectly. That one was a laser shot. Cupid Childs 1 for 1 now, the second baseman, batting lefty, singled up in the middle, was safe on an error, moving Cupid Childs to, and then Childs moved to second on the Hamilton error. The 1-2 now to Childs, swung on, fly ball to center, Hamilton back and makes the catch. So 2 away on the loud out of the FD8. That was pretty much deep to center. And Dan Bruthers, 2-run shot back in the first. Hit it out to dead center, and that one went 364 feet. Radbourn reaches back and fires the 2-2. Hard hit, but Radbourn coming off the mound quickly to his left to retire Bruthers in the 1-3. So Manchester makes some strong contact, but gets nothing done with it. They go quietly, really. And we go to the top of the fourth, and we are knotted at 2. Kid Elberfeld, Haas Radbourn, and Bid McPhee. Elberfeld walked back in the second. And that looks like a hit away. Alexander, full count. Elberfeld lays off and draws the walk. So the potential go-ahead run aboard Kid Elberfeld with 23 steals on the season. Radbourn now at the plate. He is nothing for 1. And there's the glove. Sacrifice. Elberfeld into his lead at first. Schock with a sign. Alexander has one he likes. Throws over. Elberfeld back ahead of the tag. Alexander winds and fires. The 0-1. Radbourn gets a good bunt down. Wallace's only play will be to first. Sacrifice successful. And Kid Elberfeld, the go-ahead run now in scoring position for the Providence Liberty Tree. For Bid McPhee. McPhee has grounded to second. McPhee in there more, I think, for his defense. We'll see what and we have a hit away. All right. Elberfeld, decent lead at second. Childs kind of sneaking in, kind of cheating a little bit behind him. Alexander's 3-0 delivery, and McPhee, a comebacker to the mound. And this was lined, and Elberfeld caught in a rundown, and Elberfeld is dead to rights. So Grover Cleveland, Alexander, and Cupid Childs involved in that rundown, nailing Kid Elberfeld 2 away, McPhee at first. World's Worst Gamer says, Evening, guys. Managed to pull himself away from Pac-Man 256. Addictive dumb game. A hit and run with McPhee aboard and sliding Billy Hamilton top of the order again. He's flied to deep center, and he walked in the third. So a hit and run being called by manager Castro. Oh, wait, nope, a stolen base. Okay, so we're going to try to steal with McPhee. Okay, with 7 steals. Gotcha. Alexander brings it. There goes McPhee. Shocks throw down, and Bid McPhee is gunned down, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and thanks to the caught stealing, no one left. And we've played 3.5 here in Flatbush. We are tied at 2. The number 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for the Red Bolts. Wilson, Stahl, and Wallace. Chief Wilson in today's contest is grounded to second back in the first. Radbourne with no strikeouts or walks. Routine fly ball to center, and Billy Hamilton making a good play. No matter what that says, great play. It was actually pretty routine for Hamilton. A lot of range out there for him. Chip Stahl now fly to left center. 0 for 1. Radbourne's 1-2 delivery. And this one in at the belt. Called strike 3. 2 away here at the bottom of the fourth for Hall of Famer Bobby Wallace, grounded to short back in the second. Radbourne picking up his first K. The 1-1 fastball swung on, lined right to Hal Chase at first. So once again, Manchester goes quietly, and we go to the top of the fifth. Knotted at 2. Manchester scoring 2 in the first. Providence answering with 2 in the third. So Hamilton, Keeler, and Kelly due up for Liberty Tree. And bunt for hit. Robbie Wartburg probably going to be starting a Pac-Man project here pretty soon, I'm guessing. Alexander delivers. Hamilton gets the bunt down. Shock will go to Childs covering on the wheel play, and Hamilton is retired. Out number 1. Here comes Wee Willie Keeler. So a little story quickly about Wee Willie Keeler when we're setting up our next project. Wee Willie Keeler, the troublemaker that he is, we had to knock out 2 teams because of Wee Willie Keeler. So we had the 1894, and still have the 1894 Baltimore Orioles. We had the 1899 Brooklyn Superbas and the 1904 New York Highlanders. And it just so happens that Keeler, in addition to playing for the Orioles, also played for the Superbas and the Highlanders. So those teams had to be knocked out to try to avoid player duplication. Yep, the Pac-Man project. I can see it happening now. All right, Robbie, you'll have ghost runners in your project. Christopher Slovic coming in. He says his favorite tradition of the day. Thank you, my friend. Please check out Christopher Slovic's superb channel. Christopher, I didn't understand what you were talking about the other night about hijacking a broadcast. So please let me know I wasn't clear on what you meant by that. But, of course, please do hijack. But Robbie, Rob Manfred will love you because if you do a Pac-Man project, you will have, the Ghost Runners. And you won't even have to wait for extra innings. All right, guys, we're closing in on baseball season also. For anybody interested, I think we're 2 days from the World Baseball Classic. But baseball coming up. And also in 18 days, worldwide release, Out of the Park Baseball 24. We'll probably see Digital Diamond around then. As well as I'm waiting for an update from Richard Dombrowski for Dombrov Baseball. So lots of baseball coming up on this baseball channel. I'm asking everyone in the broadcast. Oh, okay. So guys, here's what Christopher is asking everybody. So for baseball, he's asking everyone here in the broadcast about their favorite 5 teams in Major League history for Creators Cup number 2. So guys, give Christopher your suggestions. Your favorite 6 teams, and I guess Christopher will be selecting from those, and I assume that's going to be played in out-of-the-park baseball. And I'm guessing by the time he gets it all started, maybe out-of-the-park 24. Not sure. Okay, guys, favorite 6 teams ever. Please put them in the chat for Christopher. All right, Willie Keeler will lead it up. Any teams ever, and this is going to be for out-of-the-park 24, 150 games. Okay, and then the top 2. Guys, please help Christopher out. He does brilliant broadcasts. Pick your 6 favorite teams. Put them in the chat. All right, 1 down. Keeler is 1 for 2 in the game. And Alexander delivers the 0-2 to Wee Willie. And Keeler swings and misses. So Keeler did strike out occasionally. Alexander picking up K number 1. 2 down for Joe Kelly, who is nothing for 2. Okay, guys, you can see the whole thing here. Christopher giving you all the details. Please, please, please. Good guy here. Give him your teams. He knows how good this community that comes into my channel, how knowledgeable the baseball fans are. Your 6th favorite of all time. All right, Joe Kelly, nothing for 2, batting with 2 down. Did have an RBI in the 3rd, scoring Billy Hamilton. Alexander delivers. Childs up with it. Routine for 3. Joe Kelly is out number 3. Providence goes quietly. We go to the bottom of the 5th. We are still knotted at 2. First come, first serve. Yeah, so guys, go for it. I will give mine, but I think it's only appropriate that the chat does it first. So everybody, please do so. I can already predict one of Aaron's favorite teams and one of Robbie's favorite teams. That's for sure. Ray Schock is nothing for 1. Bunted out last time. Old Hoss Radbourne has 1 strikeout through 4 innings of work. He has yet to walk a batter. So cousin Ken Castro putting up the 1950 Phillies, the 1884 Providence Grays, the 1980 Phillies. I think we have a pattern here. The 1915 Phillies, the 1971 Orioles, and Ken stole one of mine, the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. So it looks like the first 6 are in. Well, Robbie, I guess maybe this will give you some time to play around with baseball reference. You're doing a 1908 replay, Robbie. Hint, 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 hint. Big clue coming up with the 1993 Giants, the 1995 Indians. Great choices there. Especially love that 1995 Indians squad. All right, I'll get back to game action here. We'll never get done. We're planning a doubleheader here, if not a tripleheader. Cracker Schock, nothing for 1, will be followed by Joe Tinker and Pete Alexander. So Schock bunted out last time. Radbourne with a 1-1. Little curveball. McGraw quickly up with it. Sharp snap throw across to Hal Chase. And that will force Cracker Schock to go back and readorn himself with the tools of ignorance. 1 away for Joe Tinker. Tinker is nothing for 1. Was safe on an error back in the 2nd. Radbourne brings the 0-1 home. Fastball chopped to short. Elberfeld up with it. Going to be a close play at first. And Chase with the big stretch. And they get Joe Tinker. 2 up, 2 down for Manchester. Manchester has not scored since the 1st. So Radbourne buckling down after that 2-run shot by Dan Bruthers back in the 1st. Alexander, nothing for 1. Grounded to 2nd his last time up. Radbourne brings it home. Count even on Alexander. And Alexander called strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 6th. We are knotted at 2. World's Worst Gamer chiming in. 1927 Yankees, 1987 Blue Jays. All right. Keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. I suppose I'll put in, I'll just put in 2. So you said any team in history. So I would say I want the 1902 Pirates and the 1917 White Sox. So those would be my 2. I'll just throw in 2 for now. Okay, hit away with McGraw. John McGraw will lead it off here, followed by Hal Chase and Buck Ewing. So McGraw today has grounded a short line to center. On that line out, Joe Kelly was caught off first, so... Oh, so you can do beyond 1903. Oh, because I know, and actually you can do back to 1901. But okay. So then change mine, Christopher, if you will, to the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, if you can't do 1902. 1909, please. So 1909 Pirates, 1917 White Sox. For me. Alexander delivers. McGraw swings. Chopper to second. Childs up with it. On to Bruthers. Quick 4-3 put out. Did some work on my computer today, and very, very happy with the way it's performing tonight, finally. Did some cleaning and stuff. Hal Chase, a perfect 2 for 2. The game singled in the second and in the third, an RBI scoring Wee Willie Keeler to tie this game. And filled in at the corners. Oh, you can do 02? Okay, then the 1902 Pirates, please. Nothing anything away from the 1909 Bucks. Powerful team, but there's just something I like about that 1902 Pirate team. You see Wagner, his second year as a Pittsburgh Pirate, pretty cool stuff. Played the first 3 years of his career with the Louisville Colonels, also owned by Barney Dreyfuss. Do I have 4 more? I certainly do. If you want them, I'll give them to you. So the 1949 Brooklyn Dodgers. Did anybody mention these guys yet? I don't think they did. So the if you don't mind, I guess you can have both. So the 1948 Cleveland Indians. Let me see what Giants team is in there because, yeah, okay. The 1921 Giants. And I have one more. And it has to be the 1971 Pirates. Nope, doesn't mean that at all, Robbie. The icons really don't have any effect on it. Alright, so 1 down. But that's why Robbie used to have more projects than I have icons on my desktop, my friend. Alexander delivers the 1-2 delivery to Chase. And Chase skies this one to center, but Chick Stahl making a nice play. 2 up, 2 down here. And we do have us a pitcher's duel going on. Buck Ewing, nothing for 2. He is grounded out twice. Alexander brings the 1-0. Routine fly ball to center. Chick Stahl camps under it, makes the catch. And Providence goes quietly, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. We're still knotted at 2. Oh, and I like all your projects, Robbie. So there we go, bud. All right, Jesse Burkett, Cupid Childs, and Dan Bruthers, the top of this Manchester order to lead it off. So, quick scoring summary. We know what the Red Bolts did. 2-run homer by Dan Bruthers in the bottom of the 1st. Liberty Tree going a little bit more nuanced. So, RBI for Joe Kelly, scoring Billy Hamilton. And then an RBI single, Hal Chase, to score Willie Keeler. Radbourne's delivery to Burkett, the 2-2 pitch, and Burkett swung on and missed. Radbourne bringing the fastball. 1 down. Well, the Beatles are iconic. Thank you, Big Clue. Big Clue bringing in the 42 Dodgers and the 54 Yanks. So the 42 Dodgers and the 49 Dodgers possibly in this. So Jackie Robinson's not going to be there in 42, but you're going to see some players in that 42 squad still in the 49 squad. So that's kind of nice. A look at the Dodgers. 1942, I believe. So Dixie Walker on that Dodgers team. Kirby Higbee, I think, still there. Pretty sure. Now, Robbie, I've always said that I think the 1971 Pirates are a stronger team. And I think a lot of more knowledgeable Pirates fans will agree that the 1971 Pirates they're actually a stronger team. 79 Bucks, I think, caught everyone's imagination with the whole We Are family, and Willie Stargell pretty late in his career, but still putting up a respectable season, getting co-MVP honors that year in the National League with Keith Hernandez. But the 1971 Pirates, deeper team. You had Bob Robertson on there, Gene Clines, Al Oliver. That 71 squad was great. In fact, the 72 Pirates might have even been a little bit better than that. But nope, not the 79 Pirates. They're not even one of my favorite Pirate teams, to be honest with you. Even though they won the World Series, Pirates team that I like better, even than the 79 Bucks, are the 2015 Pirates. Here's the 0-2 Childs comebacker to the mound. Radbourn fielding his position nicely. 2 down, so a lot of 1-3 putouts we're seeing in this afternoon's game here in the Flatbush section of Brooklyn. Dan Bruther's now number 3 hitter. 1 for 2 for him. Radbourn brings it. Bruther swinging on the first pitch. Liner right to Bid McPhee. Bid McPhee backing up about 3 steps and taking in that bullet right out of a Colt 45 into his glove. We go to the top of the 7th. We are tied at 2. Come on, Robbie. You can come up with 4 more teams. I mean, put another Rangers team in there. Rangers had some good squads before 2011. Come on, man. You have a 1908 replay. Hit away with Kid Elberfeld. Elberfeld has walked twice. So, thus far, showing great discipline against Alexander. Alexander with the 1-2 to Elberfeld. And Elberfeld looks at a called third strike. So, 1 away for old Haas Radbourn. Radbourn sacrificed back in the 4th. Hit away. Alexander with the 0-2. Radbourn, base hit to right field. Go-ahead run on first now for Providence. There is to try to stretch it for a double, Ken. 77% chance that Radbourn is safe. Stretch, yes or no? Ken Castro coming with the 1900 Brooklyn Superbas and the 1916 Brooklyn Robins. 2 good picks. 1916 Brooklyn team going to the World Series. Its first World Series. They would lose that World Series. Good squad, though. Yes, of course, silly. I'm not making any assumptions when it comes to your managing, Bunky. There, I got you back. All right. Radbourn going for 2. Tinker's tag, and Radbourn in there with a double. Go-ahead run in scoring position for Bunky Punky Castro. Yeah. All right. So here's Bid McPhee batting. McPhee, seeing his batting average just inch down every time. Came into the game at 181. He's at 176, and he's grounded out twice. And in that ground out in the 4th, Kid Elberfeld was caught in a rundown between Alexander and Cupid Childs. Exactly, and Ken says hit away. Big Clue saying something else about that 79 Pirates squad. They barely bested the Expos to win the division. I wouldn't say they got lucky sweeping the Reds. But, yeah. I think they were charged up by that time. The 71 Pirates, better team. Yeah, they did. They did. The Reds did smack them around. They absolutely did. The 71 Pirates team, clearly just the better squad, Robbie. But thanks for bringing them up. You got Omar Moreno on that team. There's some good players. Scrap Iron Phil Garner, as being one of only 3 active Pirate fans in this community. Alexander brings it to McPhee, the 0-2. McPhee swings, base hit to left. Radbourne rounding third, and I'm assuming Ken's going to send Radbourne. 67% chance to be safe. So World's Worst Gamer, his favorite Buccos team is 1979. Come on, Robbie. You can do 3 more teams, man. Saber, Robbie. Saber, Saber. So everybody, if you don't mind typing for a second, just type in the chat hashtag Saber. Come on, Robbie. Ken Castro going up. Do you want to send Radbourne? Hold. Oh, he's going to hold Radbourne, see? So we're not going to send him. All right. Runners at first and third, 1 down. McPhee at first. Radbourne at third. Billy Hamilton in there now. We're back at the top of the order for Providence. Thank you, Cousin Ken, putting in Saber. I'm going to do it as well. Hashtag Saber. Here it comes. Cousin Ken up with the glove. Yeah, Robbie, there's lots of women at that go to Society of American Baseball Research. There, Robbie coming up with the 1908 Tigers. Ken, I've seen your glove twice now. Hit away. All right. This is kind of gutsy with a double play situation, but McPhee does have some speed at first. Alexander from the stretch in the 0-2 to Hamilton. Hamilton swings, chopped to short. Tinker has it, send Radbourne. Safe chance to up. Yes. So Radbourne's going to score. On to Bruthers. And it does not happen. The double play. 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Yes, there are, Robbie. There, believe it or not, yes. Robbie, almost, I know, Ken says son of a bitch, right? And Robbie, I'm not kidding you. Every woman, or almost every woman I've been involved with have been actually very, very much enamored of baseball and its history. My ex-wife watched the entire Ken Burns documentary with me. She absolutely loved it. So yeah, but Robbie, there are women baseball fans. You ever look at some of the women that go to Major League Baseball games, my friend? Whew. That's what you should do, Robbie. Go to some baseball games when you're not working. Go hit a minor league game or something. Baseball games, seriously, a great place to meet female particles. All right, Chief Wilson, nothing for 2. Bottom of the 7th. Radbourne with the 2-1 delivery. Wilson, fly ball to left, well hit, but Joe Kelly making the catch. What a play. Joe Kelly catching that in the deepest corner in left field. So Hart's kind of skipping a beat on the Providence side here. Fans making it down from Rhode Island to Brooklyn for this game. 1 down on the train, and maybe the midnight train to Georgia, who knows. Chick Stahl, nothing for 2. He has flied to left center and struck out. Radbourne with the 0-2. Stahl swings, liner right to McGraw. And you've got to say that Providence looking sharp tonight defensively. 2 up, 2 down for Bobby Wallace, who is nothing for 2. He is grounded out and lined out. Here's Radbourne's delivery. Wallace swinging on the first pitch. Chopper up the middle. Bid McPhee. Smooth play on to Hal Chase. And Manchester goes quietly. And we proceed to the visitors' half of the 8th. And we're still knotted at 2. This game has been tied since the 3rd inning. Zeros all the way down then. Aaron Reed, he's wanting to give Baseball for Windows a shot. They just have as much fun with that. Yeah, but we're going to take a little bit of time on that, Aaron, because I'm going to need time not only to get it to you, but also there's a lot of things we're going to have to go through for Baseball for Windows. So do me a favor, my friend, have some fun with Action PC Baseball for a little while, okay? Please, please, please. And then we'll get you onto Baseball for Windows. And remember, you have to pick up a DVD player for that. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. All right. Particles and Participles, says PQ River, joining us here at Ebbets Field. Good to see you, my friend. As Aaron says, the score shows a double deuce, and he is right. Our good friend Aaron Reed. We're going to have him on for some commentary here in a few days, probably at the start of our Dead Ball 19th Century tournament. Very, very different than this. Maybe have him join us for our World Series for this one. So look for Aaron Reed again on the channel soon, and he has his own. Please subscribe to Aaron Reed's channel, guys. Good stuff. Old Time Baseball. LaRussa, I guess he's going to be putting some Action PC up there. And PQ River says he is happy to be here. All right. Aaron Reed, Christopher Slovic is asking you for your favorite 6 baseball teams of all time. Please put them in the chat for Christopher. 1-1 to Keeler. Keeler, comebacker to the mound. Alexander up with it. And Keeler is retired for out number 1. Joe Kelly is nothing for 3. Top of the 8th, 2-2 your score. Joe Kelly, RBI, grounded to Alexander, and Hamilton able to score in the play. Robbie Wartburg, one more team. Wait to see what Cousin Ken wants to do, because the last thing we've seen in the chat from him was son of a bitch. So hit away. All right. Alexander's 2-1 delivery. Joe Kelly cuts on this one. Fly ball, twisting foul on the right-hand side, but Chief Wilson getting it in foul territory. So 2 away. John McGraw, nothing for 3. Grounded out twice and lined to center. The pitch from Alexander, the 0-1. McGraw swings, popped on the infield. Cupid Childs, Dan Bruthers converging. Childs out on the outfield grass. Will make the catch to retire the side. Bottom of the 8th. Still 2-2. Fargan Bastages. Ray Schalk now will lead it off here. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for Manchester. Schalk, Tinker, and Alexander. Ray Schalk has bunted to the catcher and grounded to third. Radbourne with the 0-1 delivery. Schalk cuts on this one. Popped in the infield. Bid McPhee going out on the edge of the grass. Makes the nice put out. 1 up, 1 down. Shortstop Joe Tinker. Radbourne brings it home. The 0-2 to Tinker. Fastball. And this one comebacker. And Radbourne once again with a 1-3 putout. I think we've seen 4 of those from Old Haas. Fielding his position well off the bump. 2 away for Pete Alexander, who is nothing for 2. Robbie's brain hurting, but he says he will just throw in the 1951 New York Giants. He nonchalantly, a great New York Giants team. Of course, the Giants and the Dodgers, and we will redo that game one night just to have fun. The 1951 Giants and Dodgers. And the shot heard around the world by Bobby Thompson. Alexander is nothing for 2. Here's the 0-2. And Alexander, shallow fly ball to right. And Keeler coming in and making a nice running catch. 9th inning. We are tied at 2. Providence setting up the number 5, 6, 7 hitters. Hal Chase, Buck Ewing, and Kid Elberfeld. Alexander, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks through 8. 5 hits, 1 earned run. Righties hitting 198 against Alexander. Hal Chase, 2 for 3. Single and an RBI single, and then fly out. this ninth inning could possibly define it, the season for Providence. We shall see. Will Ken Castro hit away? He will indeed. Alexander into the line, the 0-2. Hal Chase sends this one deep to center, Stahl back, and a leaping catch. And left field, Stahl robbing Hal Chase of an extra base hit. One down. PQ River putting in the 1972 Oakland A's. Great team. Robbie, it wasn't a quiz. It was Christopher, my friend, asking for your 6 favorite teams in baseball. There's no quiz. You could have cheated and gone to Baseball Reference or gone to Google and said, who are the 10 greatest baseball teams of all time, and then thrown in your 6 real quick, my friend. But Robbie, good guy, learning the game. Oh, baseball, it's history. He knows the game. All right, we love you, Robbie. We truly do. Buck Ewing, nothing for 3. Big Clue says how Chase is clearly trying to sell it tonight. Aaron Reed's teams are as follows. The 1970 Orioles, 1981 Dodgers, the 85 Royals, the 1990 Reds, that's the one I would have predicted, the 1992 Pirates, and 95 Indians. So, wow, there you go, Chris Vessel. You got a lot of teams. I know you have one duplicate in there, the 95 Indians, so a lot of love for them. So, did anybody put up a Red Sox team? I didn't see the Red Sox up there. So, be anxious to see what Chris is going to be doing, asking everybody their 6 favorite teams of all time, and it looks like everybody, I think everybody has, except PQ Ribber, who's kind of late to the party, waiting for his other 5. He's put in the 72 A's. Big Clue is daring him. Well, the bottom of the 9th, Ken's not going to watch in the bottom of the 9th. Here's a delivery. Ewing swings. Fly ball to center. Stahl back on it. Makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for Kid Elberfeld. We're going to hold here to see what Cousin wants to do, as he doesn't have a lot of options. Dunlap, of course, if Elberfeld would be pinch hit for, could come in on defense. But we will see what Cousin Ken wants to do with 2 away here in the top of the 9th. PQ River saying the 1975 Orioles and then the 1962 Mets, and parenthetically adds, because. And World's Worst Gamer says Big Clue actually really like a bad team, the 1955 Senators. Oof. I'm wondering if are they as bad as the 1952 Pirates. Hit away. Bases empty. Elberfeld will stay in the game. Alexander with the 0-1. Elberfeld swings, and I don't know how Cousin Ken Castro knew it, but base hit. Elberfeld aboard, and I think Radbourne's day may be done. I don't know. Radbourne is 1 for 2. Doubled back in the 7th. PQ River, there's a Red Sox team, 1967 Red Sox. I think Ken put in 1912 Red Sox, I think. No, he did Phillies and Orioles and stuff. Yeah, Big Clue, you're absolutely right. He says to World's Worst Gamer, when you're a Reds fan or a Pirates fan in the 21st century, you get tired of bad teams real quick. We do. Ken wondering what to do here, because Radbourne, a good hitting pitcher, 2 down. Elberfeld will speed at first. And PQ River picking a White Sox team 2 years after mine. I picked the 1917 White Sox, and PQ River going with the 1919 White Sox. World's Worst Gamer telling Ken Castro, just pray. Big game here. This won't knock Providence out, but Providence really needs to win this game. Hit and run. Gutsy play, and Radbourne will stay in. This is a gutsy move here. Alexander checks Elberfeld. Elberfeld, aggressive lead at first. Alexander brings it home. Radbourne in the first pitch. There goes Elberfeld. Chopped to second, and Radbourne is retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's Providence 2, Manchester 2, and Manchester sends the top of its order. Jesse Burkett, Cupid Childs, and Dan Bruthers to face Haas Radbourne. Radbourne has fanned 3 in this game. No walks. Burkett, nothing for 3. He has flied out, lined to third, and struck out, seeing nothing. Yep, Burkett could, and it's anybody's game, or do we go to extras? Radbourne with the 0-2 delivery. Burkett. Oh, this went in just below the belt. And that is strikeout number 4 for Old Haas here. 1 down in the bottom of the 9th and a tie score. And here's Cupid Childs, 1 for 3. Singled back in the first and made it to second on, or singled up the middle. And then got to second on the Hamilton error. Childs swinging at the first pitch. And lazy fly ball to center, and Hamilton will cover some real estate. 2 down. And now it's Dan Bruthers. Dan Bruthers responsible for the 2 Manchester runs. Homered back in the first. A 2-run shot, 364 feet to center. Waiting on deck is cleanup hitter Chief Wilson, and up goes the glove. A mound visit. All right. And pitching coach reporting that Haas Radbourne is strong. The wheels turning on the Providence bench here. Pitch. All right. Radbourne has the sign from Ewing, the wind, and the 1-2 to Dan Bruthers. Fly ball to right. Wee Willie Keeler camps under it, and we go to extras. What a game. Top of the 10th, tied at 2. Bid McPhee will lead it off, and then back at the top of the order, Sliding Billy Hamilton and Wee Willie Keeler. McPhee, 1 for 3 in the game, singled back in the 7th. Glove going up. Why do I think that Benny Koff is coming in? I don't know. See what Ken's going to do here. Koff has been a go-to pinch hitter for Providence. There we go. Bid McPhee's day is done. Benny Koff will come in. Alexander holding at 2 strikeouts, 3 free passes. Benny Koff in the season hitting .210. 2 homers, 56 ribbies. Koff, an excellent bunter, steps in against Alexander. World's Worst Gamer is being asked by Christopher Slovic for 4 more teams. Alexander, payoff pitch to Benny Koff. Benny Koff, liner, right to Bobby Wallace at third. Sharp defense tonight from these teams. 1 up, 1 down. Back at the top of the order now, and Sliding Billy Hamilton, a frustrated 0 for 3. He did walk in the third. Hit away. Alexander with the 0-2 to Hamilton. Hamilton swings. Chopper up the middle. Childs up with it. Glides that throw on over to Dan Bruthers. 2 away. Wee Willie Keeler now batting in the second slot. Keeler is 1 for 4. Infield single in the first. Grounded to short, struck out, and grounded to pitcher in that order. Delivery from Alexander, the 1-2. Keeler chops this one to third. Bobby Wallace up with it onto Dan Bruthers, and the side is retired. Sorry, Ken, missed that. Ken calling for the bunt. Bottom of the 10th we go. Chief Wilson, Chick Stahl, and Bobby Wallace. 8 total hits in this game. 6 by Providence. 2 from Providence. World's Worst Gamer saying to Christopher, he says, if I'm put on the spot, then I pick the 1961 Yankees. The 1955 Senators is 2 more. And he says the 1962 Giants would be another. 62 Giants, fine team there. 61 Yankees, yeah, of course. Great, great team. Radbourne into a wind in the 1-1 to Chief Wilson. Wilson swings, fly ball to center. This has distance, but Hamilton making a nice running catch, going back toward the wall. 1 up, 1 down. Chick Stahl has flied out, struck out, and lined out. Radbourne toes the rubber. Payoff pitch to Chick Stahl, and Chick Stahl looks at a call on third strike. Beautiful pitch by Radbourne. That's his 5th strikeout in the game. 2 away for Bobby Wallace. Bobby Wallace is nothing in 3 attempts. Grounded out twice and lined out. Radbourne's 1-1 pitch to Wallace. Cut on, base hit, extra bases for Wallace. Rounding first, Keeler giving chase. Wallace tearing for second. Wallace going for 3. The throw from Keeler going past the cutoff man Evers. McGraw with the tag, and it is a 2-out triple for Bobby Wallace. Ray Schalk at the dish now. Ray Schalk has 2 game-winning RBI on the season. Bottom of the 10th, 2-2 your score. Radbourne needing to make a big, big pitch right here. The late-hitting Schalk at 186 as of this at bat. 32 runs batted in on the season. Ken Castro going up with the glove here. Game possibly on the line. Big 2-out triple by Bobby Wallace from Manchester. Let hit beat me pitch. Let hit beat me pitch. I don't know what that means. That's probably a dialect of Portuguese that I'm not, to which I'm not conversant, or with which. Let him pitch. Is that what we're going to say? Let him beat me. Let him beat me? Cousin Ken's given up. Oh, man. All right. Pitch. From the stretch, Radbourne brings it home. Schalk swings, and this game is over. RBI for Ray Schalk to walk it off here in the bottom of the 10th. Providence defeats, or Manchester defeating Providence 3-2. Providence not out of it, but starting to look a little bit grim. Providence falls to 76 and 73. Manchester just ridiculous. So Radbourne falls to 27 and 25, and Pete Alexander improves to 18 and 15. So Radbourne in a losing cause, 3 runs, all earned. He fanned 5. Alexander, 2 runs, 1 earned, walked 3, struck out 2. And for Manchester, Bobby Wallace 1 for 4 with a triple. Dan Bruthers 1 for 4 with a 2-run shot, so 2 RBI. Go to our miscellaneous here. Providence not getting really much of a chance to bring its running game tonight. Only 2 steals, 1 by Wee Willie Keeler and 1 by Slidin' Billy Hamilton. Bid McPhee was caught stealing. The MVP, Pete Alexander. But Bobby Wallace, with that big triple, and made the difference. We'll do our standings now up to half game and see where things go. So Providence now still a game and a half behind Cleveland, so definitely not out of it. So we have a choice now. So Bellingham right now is a half game up on Providence, and we have Philadelphia and Cleveland in a dead tie for second. You guys choose the game. So Ken says he is out. If you mean you're out, then we'll just we may just finish the season tonight then. It's up to you guys. We can play Cleveland and Philadelphia, or we can just auto-play and finish the rest of the season. So let's take a poll. Finish the season tonight or no? Pretty much. Okay, Cousin Ken says finish it. Philadelphia and Cleveland here, not what a great matchup it would be, but if you guys want to finish it, we would do it. PQ River is neutral. Well, what if Cleveland loses their game? Then if Cleveland loses, then it's going to be Manchester and Philadelphia. Philadelphia, Cleveland could be fun, yep. In fact, Cleveland and Philadelphia could decide. But Bellingham's still in this. I mean, Providence was wanting to play it out. So, tell you what we'll do. We'll finish the 21st and see how it shakes out. So the next to the last day season, we will finish today. Tough loss for Providence in a very close game. St. Louis and Bellingham. Here we go. Bellingham, will they stay in the race, or can St. Louis put a hurting on them? Here we go. Bellingham wins 4-1. Carl Mays gets the win. He goes to 10-12. Larry Corcoran with a loss, 16-20. Tex Wisterzo goes 2 for 3 with a triple and a double. And now the big one, Cleveland and Philadelphia. Here we go. This is big. And Philadelphia defeats Cleveland 7-2. Ed Walsh gets the win. He goes to 22-16. Addy Joss with a loss goes to 19-14. Let's jump out and look at the standings on the next to the last day of the Ned McGreevy Nuff Said League. And we're going to autoplay the last day of the season to see if we have. But right now it's looking like Manchester and Philadelphia. And then we'll do our final standings. I think we'll just autoplay it. So Ken Castro saying that he didn't give up, that, yeah, Schalk is a light hitter, so he was okay with the matchup. Oh, all good. All right. So Cleveland, holding second place all this time, now drops to third, and we're in the last day of the season. Let's just autoplay it out. And then we can just do another game of something if we want, or if you guys want to call it quits. I don't have to be at work for like, oh my God, 14 hours yet or something. But here we go. We're going to do them in reverse order of importance. So, Carolina and Arsenal. And Carolina defeats Arsenal 6-2. We'll review league leaders and such. So Noodles Hahn gets the win for Carolina, and his record for the year will be 10-15. Knapp Rucker takes the loss, goes to 10-20. That one is out of the way. Butler and Liverpool. And Liverpool wins its final game of the season 8-2 So a little spoiler, although it didn't matter at this point. Rube Marquardt gets the win. 10-11, he finishes the season for Liverpool. Jack Holmes takes the loss for Butler. He goes to 10-22. Ginger Beaumont, pardon me, for the Liverpool Fabs, goes 2 for 3 with a triple. All right. Next up now is St. Louis and Bellingham. Bellingham, coming into this game, tied for third. Here we go. And St. Louis, playing a spoiler, edges Bellingham 6-5. Bob Carruthers gets the win for St. Louis. 14-16 will be his record. Bob Groom takes the loss for Bellingham. He goes to 10-14 on the season. Lafayette Cross 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in, including a double. Next game, Providence and Manchester. And Providence edges Manchester 4-3. Mullen gets the win, goes to 6-8. Jack Feaster takes the loss, goes to 13-9. Bid McPhee goes 1 for 3 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. And finally, Cleveland and Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, the season is over, and our World Series will be Philadelphia versus Manchester. Philadelphia defeats Cleveland 3-1, and Christy Mathewson gets win number 22, so improves to 22-15, or finishes, I should say. Ed Rulbach, acquired from the Cubbies, takes the loss, goes to 13-14. Bill Joyce goes 3 for 4 for Philadelphia with 2 runs batted in and a double, and that does it for the Ned McGreevy Nuff Said regular season. Final standings and some league leaders and stuff. So before we get to that, I want to say to everybody who's participated in the Ned McGreevy Nuff Said League that Cousin Ken and I have wanted to do for the longest time, my deep, deep thank yous. We really didn't expect this to garner any attention. And in fact, the opposite happened. Can't thank the YouTube sports gaming community enough, and especially the regulars coming in. Cousin Ken Castro showing some great class. He says, thank you for a fantastic season, cousin. It was awesome. And of course, Cousin Ken happy because we're not actually leaving the dead ball era. We have a tournament coming up, which is going to be a lot of fun. No, I won't forget it. Neither will I, cousin. PQ River saying, glad he caught what he has. So Manchester finishes first, of course, 7 games back. But how did it shake out? We ended up not having to have any playoffs, and thank the baseball pantheon for that. So Philadelphia leapfrogs. They take over from Cleveland, and they will face Manchester in our 3-game World Series. So first game will be at Manchester, second game at Philadelphia, and if a third game is necessary, back to Manchester. Cleveland and Bellingham finish in a tie, and Providence all finish in a tie for third place. So good job. Butler comes in at even 500 at fourth, and then Liverpool 2 games below 500, 74 and 76. Carolina 72 and 78. Arsenal 70 and 80, and St. Louis 63 and 87. And you know we rib Robbie a lot, but tell you what, Robbie, you did a good job, man. You did a good job. I mean, your team was eliminated, but Clinton's team, I mean, somebody had to be last, and it could have been anybody. But Clinton finished 23 out. You finished 16 out. So give you some credit there. Hopefully, Robbie, for you, that you've learned some things from this league, gotten to know some players that maybe you've never heard of. All right, we're all stats geeks here, so we'll go over some things really quickly, and then we'll be done with this, and then we'll move Manchester and Philadelphia into its own league for the World Series. So Napoleon Lajoie, no surprise, easily wins the batting crown, 341, and how dominant was he? Dan Bruthers was second, hit .315 on the season. Tris Speaker hit .305, and Jesse Burkett hit .300. So Burkett not getting a hit brought him down to even .300. Everybody else, rounding out the top 10, Grover Gilmore hit .296, Wee Willie Keeler .281, Elmer Flick .278, Gene DeMontreville .275, Larry Doyle .274, and Ed Delahanty .272. Hardy Richardson held on to the home run crown with 12. Eddie Collins, believe it or not, with 11. Ed Delahanty with 9, along with Dan Bruthers and Buck Ewing. RBI, Nap Lajoie with 96. Delahanty with 78. Chief Wilson 71. Stolen bases, Hannes Wagner holds on with 58 steals. McGraw and Keeler behind him at 57. Lajoie led in doubles. Now let's go to pitching. Earned run average, Walter Johnson, of course, no surprise there, but only 3 pitchers below 2.00 and under an average. Johnson at 1.08, Pete Alexander at 1.90, and John Ward for Cleveland at 1.98. Rounding out the top 10 be Jack Feaster, Jake Weimer, Rube Waddell, Ed Walsh, Eddie Seacott, Christy Mathewson, and Three Finger Brown. Haas Radborn with 27 wins. Eddie Plank and Pud Galvin each with 24. And Ed Walsh and Christy Mathewson with 22. Saves we're not going to worry about so much. Rube Waddell, 229 strikeouts. Johnson behind him at 213. And Christy Mathewson, 202. Opponents average, again, Walter Johnson. Opponents hitting just 178 against Johnson, who will be starting Game 1, I'm assuming, of this World Series. Jeff Tesserow and Ed Walsh. Team batting, Manchester, 248, led the league in team batting. Cleveland, 242, Bellingham at 241. Pitching, once again, Manchester, a 2.04 under on average. Philadelphia, 2.35. Cleveland, 2.57. Fielding, it was Carolina, 970 for team fielding. And then we already know our All-Stars. The MVP of the Ned McGreevy Enough Said League is Dan Bruthers. And the Cy Young Award does not go to Cy Young. It goes to Walter Johnson, Manager of the Year, of course, MV with Manchester, who put together a hell of a team. So, and Robbie said he certainly enjoyed it and had fun. I'm really glad. World's Gamer wondering how Knapp did on that last game with everything on the line. We should have checked. But seeing that it's 341, we could go back and see, obviously. This has been a lot of fun. What I'm going to do before I dismantle, and I can't dismantle this until the World Series, but I'm going to be putting these guys back in the baseball history collection. But before I do so, I'll be compiling some stuff for you guys in the Discord to peruse if you'd like more detailed reports. They'll be posted in the coming days as I can get to them. But that is it. This was so much fun. Really, really loved it. And also be looking at the Diamond Mine version of this that Robbie so kindly did for us. I'm going to bring it to Diamond Mine for me and see why there were some disparities in that league. Thank you, everybody. This was fun. Understatement. I don't know what to say. This is kind of... I'm so used to doing this. We started this in late October. And here we are now in early March, and we're done. Except for the little World Series, which was an afterthought. So... that is it. Ken Castro says, despite having to deal with Todd B. and Big Clue's bullying remarks on a nightly basis, this was an amazing treat for true old-time fans. Really, really was. I mean, and thanks to you guys. And all through the season, being very, very active. A guy that we really have to thank that we haven't seen in so long, and I hope he will allow us to keep the Discord open even though this is over, is John DFW, who kindly set up the Discord for us and created those channels. We haven't seen John in a long time. I hope he's doing well. And congratulations to all the managers. Really, you guys grabbed onto this project. Clinton Parks is still doing this in Cards and Dice, believe it or not. So huge thank you to him, and also to Robbie Wartburg for volunteering to do this in Diamond Mine Baseball, which saved me from having to hassle with two platforms, playing it out and getting confused and stuff like that. To Cousin Ken, again, for being really the inspiration for this league from when I started streaming. I guess that's really all there is to say about this. And it's weird, I have all this time tonight and we're done. How weird. So this is a good one. And there's one thing else I have to do, though, because it wouldn't be complete unless we did this. Where are you? Where are you, my friend? There we go. The patron of our league. So, Ned, we hope we did you proud. Alright, don't know if you guys want me to do another game, or if you want to head to another channel, or you want to call it a night. I don't know what we want to do here. When mustaches were an art, absolutely. Ned McGreevy passed away in 1943, so quite a good run for the Irishman, owner of the Third Base Saloon. Well, Robbie, you don't want the answer to that because you would like to preserve your innocence. Yeah, more baseball, absolutely. We'll do more baseball. We can jump ahead and just do something else. We won't start the World Series tonight, though. We'll let that go, and we'll start that. I don't know where I put my... Let you guys know here exactly what's going on this week in baseball. So, no baseball tomorrow, no baseball Wednesday. We will be back Thursday and Friday for some baseball. Friday, we can really hit some baseball hard. As far as next week, we'll be able to do baseball pretty much every night of the week. So lots of baseball coming up. Cool. I haven't downloaded Steve Tate's latest Negro League file. I should really do that. Okay, viewership dropping down to the hardcores now. We have 6 viewers still in and wanting some baseball. So thank you, Ned, Slancha, Eringo Brach, Shakyar La. There. A little bit of Irish for him. The last one, especially important. Cool. Snack time. All right. Yeah, we'll take a quick little intermission while I tool around here and decide what we want to do. Could shock everybody and do a modernish game, but somehow it wouldn't feel right. So let's do something. I don't know. Let's do something. Oh, I said 3 different things in Irish, actually. So I said slancha, which means cheers. I said Éireann go bragh, which means Ireland forever. And then I said Shakyar La, which means our day is coming. And that third one especially important. Let's play. You know what? Let's do something with the state collection. I've never messed with this before. So what this is a subset of the baseball history collection. And players are sorted by their state of birth. And there's some powerful, powerful teams in here. Some not so much. We can look at a few rosters if you guys want to pick an exhibition. I don't even know if I've assigned baseball parks to any of these yet. I'm just going to pick one at random. So it looks like, yep, so that's anything that says Great American Ballpark, I think. Yep, so there, Maryland and Pennsylvania would be a great game. Massachusetts, they've got a pretty tough squad as well. Let's play Massachusetts versus New York. You knew it was coming, right? So some of the players on here for Massachusetts, Mickey Cochran. Let me see. I'm going to go to real stats so we can kind of look at the real players here, man. All right, so Jeff Bagwell, Mickey Cochran, Joe Kelly, Pie Trainer, Shanty Hogan, which a name I'm not familiar with. There's L.B. Fletcher, Jimmy Barrett is on here, Whitey Witt. I'm just going to read the whole damn roster because there's going to be guys you got to know. Fred Tenney, Richie Hebner, Rabbit Moranville, Tony Canigliaro, Stuffy McGinnis, Jim Hagan, Jerry Remy, Eddie Mayo, Mark Belanger, Bob Ganley, and Pat Carney. Pitchers for the Massachusetts, Tom Glavine, Jack Chesbrough, Wilbur Wood, Vic Rashi, Bill Donovan, Dick Donovan, John Curtis, Tim McNamara, Vito Tamoulis, Tanyan Sturtz. Pardon me, guys, I'm so bad with German names. Don Notabart, Rosie Ryan, Steve Bedrosian, Pat Carney, and Stu Miller. And for this New York squad, looking at hitters, Lou Gehrig, Edgar Martinez, Hank Greenberg, Alex Rodriguez, Ken Singleton, Eddie Collins, Sid Gordon, Craig Biggio, Joe Torre, Rocky Colavito, George Davis, Wally Shang, Eddie Yost, Andy Van Slyke, Carl Yastrzemski, Heine Groh, Paul LaDuca, A.J. Przinsky, and Cy Seymour. Pitchers, Jim Palmer, Warren Spahn, Whitey Ford, Sandy Koufax, Dick Rudolph, Waite Hoyt, John Doherty, Mickey Harris, Willie Frazier, Bob Grimm, Hal White, Turk Lone, Ted Wilkes, Cy Seymour, and Roy Face. I think this will be a fun one to do. So New York at Boston, using this state file. So this will just be an exhibition. I think it'll be fun. Our Red Sox fan previewed this when it came out last year. I've messed around with it offline, so this will be its first time on my channel. Ooh, we gotta fix Massachusetts because that's just like not gonna be readable and fun. So let's take care of that. Don't know what Dave Cook was smoking there, but we don't need a background. We don't need a black background for these guys, or we'll just make the foregrounds whatever. Let's do a background for them of. We can make it more Red Soxy, whatever. I don't know. It's going to be really hard to read. Doesn't matter for this exhibition. I'm just going to make it white. There we go. Now it'll be easy to read either way. And let me look at New York's colors. New York, easy to go. I hope. Yeah, good. All right, nice, nice, nice. Robbie Wartburg returning to 1908, his replay of that into its fourth year. Oh no, 1920, I thought you said 1908, so in a 1920 offline game, so 1920, the Washington defeats the A's 7-2. All right, New York meets Massachusetts in this, I guess, State League, whatever it's called. Yeah, New Jersey, New York, there we go. Versus Massachusetts. I don't know what we're going to do here. We'll make the computer have New York. Doesn't really matter. And we're going to just do computer lineups all the way around. Jack Chesbrough and Dick Rudolph. Really? Because Jim Palmer. Nah, we got to do better than that. I mean, Dick Rudolph. Well, he's got the best ERA on this team. I say we go with Whitey Ford. The hell with it. Let's go with Dick Rudolph. World's Worst Gamer wants Koufax. Yeah, why not? The left hand of God. Yes, I can do this. Okay. We got to go back to the opponent and redo a lineup. Got to make it fair. All right, this should be fun. Let's do this. Welcome to Fenway Park, and this is going to be New York and Massachusetts in this exhibition game using the State League. It's a subset of the Baseball History Collection from Dave Cook Sports. Sandy Koufax will start for New York, and he'll be opposing Jack Chesbro for Massachusetts. At game time here at Fenway Park, it is 56 degrees. Wind speed 3 miles per hour in from center field, and it's raining. The sharp-eyed among you will notice there is a DH in this league. I not really messed with this, so this will be just some old American League Baseball just to see some hitters. Looking at the defense here first for Massachusetts in left field, there's Joe Kelly. In center, Jimmy Barrett. In right field, Pat Carney. At first base, Jeff Bagwell. Second base, Eddie Mayo. Third base, Rabbit Moranville. At shortstop, Rabbit Moranville. Third base, Pie Trainer. Catching, Mickey Cochran. And pitching, Jack Chesbro. Joe Torre will lead it off here. So welcome to Fenway, and a little exhibition game between the state of New York and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Teams based on players' state of birth, and of course they all share one thing in common: their state of birth is alive, which is always a nice thing, isn't it? Joe Torre hitting .315, 24 home runs, and 97 runs batted in. We've seen Jack Chesbro in our Ned McGreevy League, which shall live on forever. And close this down. And here we go. Chesbro. Got some rainfall in here in Boston. Torre sends this one to left. Coming in quickly is Joe Kelly. One up, one down. Second baseman Eddie Collins, a .331 average, 2 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Collins with 12 steals. Chesbro winds and fires. We hope. Are we going to have a weird thing going on here? Because I've never used this league, so I don't know if I'm running into something weird with this one or not. There we go. Let's hide that. And I don't know what is going on here, because everything is... I'm not trying to change the computer lineup. I think we might have a crash. Bummer, man. Well, this sucks. So that's working. And that little bug is to be expected, Mississippi and Washington. All right, we're going to kill this one and try to start something over. Or not. This is very strange. Grinding. Yep. And I know Steve Tate's had quite a few crashes with Action PC this year, too. So, there we go. And we're going to let it kill itself, I think. And the program that wouldn't die. We'll just do this to it, I think. Alright. Well, so much for that. Let's see if we have any better luck with Arrow Park Baseball. Why not? Strange doings here. I need a little break from Action PC. Not sure what happened there, guys. So he had a strange. No, it wasn't a. Don't think it was a rainout. Not sure what's going on. I've had some crashes, and you guys saw Steve Tate and I playing our head-to-head league. This one's the best version of Action PC Baseball, but it's also the crashiest. So he had a strange bug recently. The play-by-play spammed insanely, repeating the same things, then crashed. Yeah, there's still some issues with Action PC 2023. All right, let's go to Out of the Park, and we'll just do an all-time greats thing. And this season's actually started, so. Just to give it some loves. And let me change up OBS quickly. There we go, that's better. All right, we're going to continue game. This is that Cooperstown League I was telling you about. Bobby Richardson is the only recipient of the World Series MVP while playing for a losing team. Did not know that. I like the little trivia things that come up in Out of the Park baseball. Well, it's not that crashy. It's just like any other game. So we have a game in progress, Pirates versus the Diamondbacks. But we're going to go ahead and go into it, and then we're going to just play it out, like just autoplay it. And one thing I always have to say about Out of the Park baseball is this game is gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful baseball game. This all-time league is using the ballparks included with the game, and they're incredible. If we have some, there we go. So what a nice looking park. So top of the first actually, but Arizona bores me. So we're going to quick play the entire game, and then we're going to pick two teams to play in the season. And the Pirates edge the Diamondbacks 6-5. We'll go ahead and lead this. And I don't know why it's not showing. Why is it not showing on here? Now OBS is going nuts on me. No, I understand. And why is this not coming up? Wow, this is a drag. So now, one thing is working, but we may be jumping out of this. Out of the Park not showing what I wanted to show, or OBS. How bizarre is that? Definitely curious here and curious for guys. We may be out of this one pretty quickly tonight, because till I reboot, unless you guys want to come back, I think I'm going to reboot. We'll start another broadcast. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because definitely some issue going on here with OBS is now acting up. So Big Clue, who had some problems with his PC, now they're jumping over to mine. Yikes. Alright, if anybody is into it, I will be back in about 5 minutes. I'm going to do a complete reboot of the system. Yep. Alright, guys. For those of you who won't be back, thank you very much for your participation in the Ned McGreevy Enough Said League. And we'll see you all in a bit.